Well, good day, everyone. Welcome to Health Check, where you can stop, take a minute, and check in on you. I'm your host, Dr. Bolling. So delighted to be with you. Health Check, as you know, is sponsored by Kingdom Health Connections. We're here to help you connect to a healthier lifestyle by creating this culture of health, wellness, and healing for you and the entire family. So delighted to be with you all today on this segment. This month, the month of March, is dedicated towards nutrition. March is the National Nutrition Awareness Month. So we want to help raise that awareness about your nutrition, how you've been eating, what you've been consuming, and just helping you along that journey of health, wellness, and healing for you and the entire family. I'm so delighted to have my special guest today. Her name is Allegra Vasquez. She is a registered dietitian, has a master's in public health. She's been in the field for now 5 years plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Passionate about nutrition. So delighted to be with you here today, Allegra. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. And hi, everyone.
Hello. So let's get started. As you can see, the topic is some quick tips, nutrition quick tips that we can kind of just have in our pocket to implement in our lifestyle. Sometimes, especially with individuals who want to make a lot of change, as you know as well, it can be overwhelming sometimes to know how to navigate through. Inflation is here, prices have gone up. How do we make this simple? And simplify it. So I'm so delighted you're here to help us with that. So what quick tips do you have for us? And I can navigate the screen here as you.
Yes, please. So if you can pull up the nutrition label, I think it's important to understand what some of those, what is like the information on the label, how to use it to meet your goals. So actually, if you can pull up the other one, Vanessa, it's the example of yes, that one. Perfect. So we'll talk about a few sections on the nutrition label. So for example, the first thing that you want to look at is the serving size and the number of servings. So the serving size is the amount that people typically eat or drink, but it doesn't mean that that's a recommendation of how much you should eat or drink per se. So it is important to pay attention to the serving size and the number of servings, because you might ask yourself, okay, am I consuming, for example, in this sample label of lasagna, are you having a cup? Are you having more? Are you having half a cup? So once again, it's not a guide or a recommendation of how much you should be having, but rather like whatever your goals are and whatever you're eating at that moment. I think it's important to know, like, okay, what does that mean? So that's the serving size. Another thing that's important to look at are the calories. My approach as a dietitian, I don't like to emphasize, calories or how much you should be eating or giving specific advice about calories unless that's part of your goal. So I don't just like tell everybody about calories, but I think it is important to understand, what is that on the nutrition label, and just if you all are not aware, the nutrition label is based on a 2,000 calorie diet per day. Once again, doesn't mean that that's what you should be consuming, but that's what these numbers are based off of. So those percentages and whatnot, it's just widely used for general nutrition advice. But it varies, we all have different needs, different stages of life warrant maybe more calories if you're more active, your age, your gender. So once again, it's not like specific advice to you. But just to tie in like calories and the serving sizes, for this example, 1 cup is 280 calories, but let's say you had 2 cups. So you would multiply the 280 times 2 would be equal to 560. So, just to take it even further, let's say you did have the 4 servings on the container, which you would multiply 280 times 4, which would equal 1,120 calories. So just to kind of put into perspective, that's about half the general calories per day, if you're having the entire lasagna. So it's not to judge or shame anybody. Like if you were to have the whole thing, But rather just to educate on like what the servings mean, the calories, if you were to have the whole thing.
Yeah. I think that's so good, Allegra, because I don't think sometimes we pay attention to the serving size. That's something that we just don't tend to do. You know, it requires some type of measurement, like if you have a measuring cup,
Right.
and it can almost add a sense of tediousness to, well, I just want the lasagna,
Right.
you know, but that awareness is there actually when we begin to measure how much we're actually having.
Exactly.
And that was something I actually didn't know, that it's based off a 2,000 calorie diet.
Right.
Which, if someone's usually paying attention to the serving size, unless it's a part of their routine, it's probably because they want to lose weight.
Right.
And 2,000 is typically a lot more than what you actually need. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What else?
And like I said, you might even need more than the 2,000 calories depending on what your goals are, where you're at in life, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, if you're more active, like it just depends on you. So it's not just like a blanket general guide for everybody. It's just, I wanted to put that out there. Like that's where that information comes. And it even says it on the label that it's 2,000 calories a day is used for general advice. So that's where that comes from. And I think also it's helpful, like how you were saying, if you have certain goals that say weight management, maybe you'll make better or make more informed decisions about how much you're eating if you realize, okay, 1 cup is the serving or the serving size, but then if you're having the whole thing, maybe you'll think about, you know, the portion based off of that. So that's why I think it's important.